Thanks for checking out Hemlock Mountain Outdoors. I'm Kurt, and today I'm going to talk about some of the more frequently asked questions I get about gear. I'm going to make it short and sweet. I'll put chapters in this video, so if you got a specific question and I've answered it here, you can just go down and look. And other than that, I'm going to get right into it. First question I get asked is, what is included with WestRim, RedTail, or Coyote hammocks? Excellent question. I know sometimes when you're looking at big box stores and you go to buy a hammock, all you get is the hammock. It doesn't come with a suspension. And if you're new to hammock camping, that can be a big surprise. You get your hammock and all of a sudden you can't hang it until you get a suspension. And that's a huge extra cost. Sometimes almost the same price as the hammock, depending on what you're getting. So to make it simple, what I do is by default, the hammocks come with a suspension. At least a cinch buckle suspension, which is the buckles right here, which are already attached to the hammock. And then each comes with two 12-foot tree straps, and they come in a nice stuff sack, which is attached. That bag's upside down. There's a little clip on them, a little mitten hook, and then you can just clip it right to your string. Yeah, it's that easy. You can clip it right to the drawstring of your hammock, and that way they're always there. With the RedTail, just because of the way the store sets up for me with Shopify, I'm limited on how many options I can put on there. And since that has the body and then the end cap color and the length, that 3 options is all I can do. So what I do is I made it simple. Just a cinch buckle suspension. If you want something different, we'll talk about that in like 1 or 2 questions from here. But with the WestRim and the Coyote, there's the option for the included cinch buckle suspension, or if you already have a suspension and you just need the continuous loops, you can get that as well. Or if you want to upgrade to whoopee slings, which are all Dyneema, kind of like, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but these are whoopee slings right here. They're super light. They have a little bit less adjustability than the cinch buckles, but they're really, really light. So you've got those options. But by default, all 3 hammocks come with a suspension, the hammock body, and then the RedTail and Coyote also have the multi-mode bug net, which allows you to obviously have the hammock completely zipped closed. Or you can zip the hammock, the bug net all the way around, pull it up to the end cap, and then either with a shock cord loop or a little stuff sack, depending on the model. RedTail just has the loop. You can tuck the bug net all the way up in the end, or you can just pull the zippers. There's 2 zippers per side. You can pull them up to either end and then take the bug net and attach it to the ridgeline. There's shock cord loops on there. And that I find very handy when I'm setting up the hammock. I might want to relax for a little bit, but don't necessarily want the bug net. I'm just using the hammock as a chair. But I know when I go to bed, I'm going to want the bug net. Then I just put it up on the ridgeline, and then when it's time to go to sleep, I just drop it down. But that multi-mode bug net gives you the ability to do all those things while still having access out of both sides of the hammock, because it's got the 4 zipper pulls on it. So you get all that suspension, bug net. The RedTail and the Coyote also come with a ridgeline and a ridgeline organizer. You get little guy out points for if you want to tie out the sides to open it up a little bit, or some people use that to attach their quilts to help keep the quilts in place. There's all kinds of options for that. That's for the RedTail and the Coyote. The WestRim has a side pocket and the body and a suspension. Don't know if that made it more clear or more confusing. You let me know. The next question I get asked is about the tarps. Are they seam sealed? They are, and I'm actually working on one right here. I'm going to show you. So I've got one, the seam seal setting right here. It's pretty much dry. I'm just letting it set. It's Sunday, so there's no point in packing this up yet. I'll do it later on tonight or early tomorrow. But I seam seal the ridgeline. I seam seal the end pullouts, and then also the tarps now all come with orange pullouts on the ridge. So on this end, and this is a 13-footer, so this is big long tarp. All the way down here, as far as I can go. Here's the other side. That's got orange. The other 10 pullouts all have standard black ribbon, black webbing to hold them on there. And they all come with the Beastie D D-rings. And the seam seal I'm using is the Gear Aid Seam Grip. It lasts a good long time. It's a really good product. My personal tarp that I use is just starting to wear thin, the tarp material. I mean, that thing's been beat up. That was the tarp I tested, and that one's Sil Nylon, not SilPoly. I use SilPoly for all the new tarps. That was like an early one where I was using Sil Nylon. It's been hit by branches. I've had it in high wind. I've had massive amounts of rain, like just caught in it, ice, snow, you name it. It's been hit with it, and it's just finally starting to get some spots where it's wearing thin. And the seam seal is still good after like 6 years. Now, your performance may vary. I don't know how it has maintained such good seam seal that with what I've put through it. I don't know, but for my own use, that seam seal is awesome. And they also come with a nice stuff sack. And I've been making them a little bit bigger, the stuff sacks. You can compress them down. But SilPoly, when you're trying to cram SilPoly into a SilPoly bag, it's like one of those silly snakes, and if you touch it the wrong way, it just goes, your tarp goes flying. So I start making those bags a little bit bigger. They can be compressed down a lot though. So that's the tarps. They also now are in 10 foot, 12 foot, and since I'm now offering 12-foot hammocks, a 13-foot model, which is what this is. So the 13 by a little over 9 feet wide, and they cover everything. They got 12 tie outs, so ridge line, 4 corners, and then 3 on either side. So definitely, if you're looking for a SilPoly tarp, check those out. Next question I get asked is customization. This kind of goes back to the RedTail and the suspensions because of the option limitation I have on the website. Let's say you want a RedTail, but you want whoopee slings, or you don't see a color available, or you don't see, you want more tie outs, or you want less tie outs, or you want a different stuff sack, or whatever. You're looking for something custom. I do custom work because when I'm making hammocks, it's mostly all custom work anyway, because I usually make them. I very rarely can keep ready-made gear in stock. It usually goes pretty quick. So pretty much everything I'm making as you order it. So if you're looking for something that's not listed, don't be afraid to reach out. There is a custom work form on the website, and there's also the contact us page where you can send me an email, and I'll work with you. We'll figure out how to get what you want done. And on very rare occasions, I've had people ask for things that just aren't safe to do, and I have to say no. So if it's something crazy, like you want a trapdoor built in the bottom of your hammock, I won't do that. But I won't build a failure point into a hammock. Not intentionally. I mean, anything could happen, but yeah, I wouldn't do that. I had something not quite that drastic, but something similar to that, where somebody wanted it just would have failed quickly, so I wouldn't do it. So yeah, custom work I do. The next 2 questions are just real small product questions. One is, what is a PackHanger? I've got one right here. This is one of like an early thing that I made, and I start using it for myself, and it's got some really useful options that I've had to use. Now, the PackHanger is just a piece of poly webbing, 1,500-pound poly webbing, same stuff I use for the suspensions. This is in the camo, but it also comes in black, and it's got just a plastic buckle on it, right? So super simple. What you do is you carry this with you when you get to camp, and you don't want to put your bag on the ground. Don't want to leave it sitting on the ground. You want to hang it up. And I used to always be looking for little knobs sticking out trees I could hang my pack on. Of course, the pack be too heavy and it'd break and it'd fall down. So I made one of these. And you could just use a rope, but hear me out on why this is actually beneficial to have. It's one of those things that you hope you never need it, but I didn't think I'd ever need it for this particular reason. And when I did, I was glad I had it. So basically what you do is you put this around the tree. It's just like a belt that you wear. And then you can adjust it by pulling it. And then when it's got tension on it, it stays, right? But there is this little opening sewn into the end. Right there. And you can get, I do have carabiners if you want to order a carabiner, if you got your own, you can, you don't have to add that cost to it. You put that on there, right? And this is wrapped around a tree. You can hang your pack right from your carabiner. Boom, keeps it off the ground. Great, right? Now, let's say, like me, and you have a bad day, and you're switching out your gear for into a different bag one day, and you don't realize that your suspension has fallen out of your bag and into the crack of your sofa while you were swapping bags, and you get to where you're going to camp, and all of a sudden you realize you don't have your tree straps. Now, do not use that with this plastic buckle. This will break at about 30 pounds of pressure. I was testing one for something else the other day, and I just shattered it by tugging on a little bit. They're not meant to hold a lot of weight. But you can, if you've got a cinch buckle, or you can use a Beckett's hitch or anything like that. I was able to use mine as a tree strap and feed it through the carabiner loop. And I make sure I sew this up good enough. There's 6 stitches on there. That's not going to come apart. And it can be used as an emergency tree strap if you really need one. Like, I could fit my cinch buckles through there, move this up, or you can even pull that off. It takes a little bit to get the end through, but you can pull that right off, and now you've got an emergency tree strap. It also works as a belt if your pants are falling down, so you can do that too. So yeah, the PackHanger, it's listed on the website as the PackHanger 2. I could probably take the 2 off of there now. It just, when I first launched these, I was using like mil-spec nylon, and that was fine. And it did work for me. That was the one I used as a tree strap, I think, or did I make one out of this? I don't remember. But mil-spec isn't quite as strong as the webbing I use for the suspensions. So I just switched it to the regular suspension webbing, and then I just kind of beefed up the stitching so it's more like an actual tree strap. So just in case it's needed, you've got an emergency spare tree strap and a way to hang your bag, and possibly a belt if your pants are held down. So that's the PackHanger. And then the last thing is another one of the early accessories that I make. Had this around for a long time, nicknamed after a friend of mine. That would be the DragonSnare. So this is, if you've seen this on the website and you're like, the heck is a DragonSnare? This is a water bottle holder. Now, you see things like this a lot of times in the first aid, not the first aid, but like the survival kits, and they're usually on a really short key fob, and they're just big enough to fit like a standard size water bottle. This is designed to be super lightweight. It's made out of an AM steel cordage. This is Zing It. I do have some other Arbor's rope that I use, which is made out of the same thing. It just isn't the brand name AM steel. And then a small carabiner, which is easy to swap out. I mean, these little carabiners, I try to get the best ones I can, but these are like keychain carabiners. They wear out pretty quickly. So that's easy enough for you to swap out if you want to put something better on there. And then it's basically just like a slip knot on the end, and then a bead so it doesn't close in on itself completely. But what it allows you to do, take your water bottle, put this over the cap of your water bottle, and you pull it. It tightens up, and you can clip this onto your backpack, you can clip this onto your belt, you can clip this onto your ridgeline. A lot of times, if you see pictures of my hammocks, you'll see a water bottle just kind of floating in the middle of the hammock. It's usually hanging from a DragonSnare. Makes it super handy and super lightweight. As long as the bottle has a lip on it, it will hold it. Now, unlike the ones that you get in the survival kits, this will fit on something as large as an Nalgene. So it doesn't have to be just a standard size water bottle. You just get it on there underneath the lip, give it a pull, and there you go. You got your Nalgene. This will work. I've gotten this to work with my Catadine Be Free. It would work on like my Canuck bag. This would probably work on it if I got it on the around the where you put your filter, like the screw cap on the Canuck bag. Anything like that where you want to carry water or doesn't even have to be water. It could be anything you're trying to carry hands-free that you can get this to grip onto. And then clip it onto whatever. One of the things I really like to do is clip it onto the grab handle of my backpack with the carabiner. And then it will kind of sit between my shoulder and the bag, and it keeps the water bottle out of the way. And then as I'm hiking, I get thirsty and I want to take a drink. I just kind of lean, it'll swing the bottle around. And as long as it's a regular drinking bottle, it won't work with the Nalgene because it kind of shortens it up a little bit. But the regular size drinking bottle, you can just open it up, drink, not even take it off the snare, put the cap back on, and just kind of toss it over your back. I wasn't thinking about that one day, and we were doing a hike along a road. I kind of flung the bottle back like that, and there's a car coming, and I think they thought I was just tossing the bottle out on the road, and they kind of did one of these. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful with that. But yeah, you can just kind of fling it over, and they're super lightweight. They're grams. They weigh next to nothing. So DragonSnare water bottle holder, really easy, simple little piece of gear that makes life a lot easier on the trail. So I hope this answered any questions you might have, or if you're looking at gear and you're like, hey, what's that thing? Maybe that answered it. If you got any questions, you can leave them down in the comments, or you can shoot me an email, support@hemlockmountainoutdoors.com. And maybe if I get enough questions on specific things, I will do another video on. But thanks for watching. See you in the next.